Our next question has also been approved for filming before, and the question is, what has worked in other black holes of corruption to reopen the portal to higher vibrations above them?
It has happened. You can tell it's happened.
I can feel it. It's really quiet upstairs.
It is quiet upstairs.
What has worked in other black holes of corruption to reopen the portal to higher vibrations above them? You know what it all feels like?
What?
It all feels like miracles. It feels
like miracles.
Actions coming from outside of the dimension.
It does.
In a way that's really hard to explain if you're looking up from below.
They're talking about an incident from the lives of these two hosts' lives that happened maybe 25 years ago or something like that, a long time ago, and these two were over at the house of a friend who had a swimming pool.
That's what they're talking about.
And that one was in the shallow end, just kind of walking around, and the two moms were sitting by the pool, and that one just headed for the deep end, and her head went underwater, and her eyes got real big, and we got
Did
up.
not know to swim yet.
No, didn't know to swim, too
yet.
young. We walked over and reached down, and she held up her arm, and we grabbed her arms and pulled her up and said, "You look like you could use a lift."
That's right. That's what they're talking about. They keep showing the little hand reaching up, the big hand coming down, pulling out of the water.
Out of the depths we call to you, O Lord. Please will you help? Everything has gone bad. We don't know how to fix it. We're murdering life on Earth, not us individually. We've got our solar panels.
That's right.
And we're hauling water by hand, rainwater, but nobody else is doing that.
No, gosh, no.
For him is the message. Why do you ask? Well, other people are doing parts of that. Like some people have solar panels.
That's right.
And some people haul water by hand in other parts of the world. Usually the people hauling water by hand don't have access to solar panels.
Exactly, not by choice.
Not by choice. Can we have the question again?
Yeah. What has worked in other black holes of corruption to reopen the portal to higher vibrations above them?
And they're showing an incident from early childhood, and they're showing the spotlight is shining on how the spirit world has said that host lives do not have legal standing under divine law.
That's right.
And how in the official gatherings of angels and higher powers who were previously responsible for planet Earth, in those previous gatherings, they would always refer to the host lives as children. Who will help the drowning child of planet Earth. Or in this case, the burning child.
That's right.
Of planet Earth. We do notice that the soul teams are still having an extremely hard time reconnecting to the body. It might be kind of like trying to hold on to a dock in a riptide. Trying to hold on to a dock in a riptide.
And all the currents pulling you away.
Yes. We understand that.
Yeah, I do.
We do. Let's get another question on the table. And again, these questions have all been asked before on camera.
Our next question comes from a viewer named George. And this has been asked at least twice before on camera. And the question is, how do the angels define what a soul is?
Well, this team is really curious about this
Very
because
much.
we watch souls come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go.
Oh yeah.
But there's still point of consciousness that remains with the body, and
That's true.
many of the memories do leave with the soul, and it's a little bit disruptive. It's like when you're dreaming and the dream ends, and then the memory of the dream is going rapidly. And that is a little bit disruptive, but there is also an aspect of self that has continuity, and
That's true.
we're very curious about that. We want to know what that's about. How does the spirit world define what a soul is? And given that we're all interdimensional beings, and for example, this organism is made up of cells, and all the cells are themselves organisms who have their own souls.
That's
and
right.
those souls are not coming and going on the same shifts as the
That's
larger
true.
souls, and neither are the souls of the electrons. And so maybe it's simply a question of overlapping shifts and overlapping dimensions, but how is that handled in this definition of what's a soul? It looks like somebody who's sitting at a card table taking tickets for some movie. It's kind I guess that would be like a rinky-dink setup.
Yeah,
And
I see
they
that.
feel completely unequipped to answer that kind of question. It's like, I was just going to take your ticket. You can go into the
That's
movie.
what it's like. And it's like a movie being projected on the side of somebody's garage, you know.
Right.
It's not a movie theater.
No, it's not.
And this is just the ticket taker.
Yeah. Who's maybe a child at a child's slideshow or shadow show. You know how kids will do that.
Oh, yeah. How do the angels define what a soul is?
How do the angels define what a soul is? It's just that same ticket taker person.
Not equipped to answer this
No,
question.
it's like, look, I don't know.
And not pretending to be equipped to answer
No,
the question.
and it's not the topic of the film either.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here we go. One more in the bell. What now to stop the destruction in a fair and just way?
How do we do it? How do we stop the destruction in a fair and just way so that gentler creatures are not bullied by harsher creatures? How do we do that? What about all these oak trees that are marked for destruction
Right.
and pine trees that are marked for destruction because we've been too lazy to bury our power lines, and now we feel like we need to kill all the trees within 30 feet of them?
That's right.
Wow. Thank you.
Wow.
It's like this scene in Mary Poppins when the wind changes
Yeah.
and something changes. What now to stop the destruction in a fair and just way?
What now?
What now? How do we stop the destruction in a fair and just way? Only 4% of mammals are wild. 96% are human or domesticants.
That's true.
Obviously, we have to stop breeding domesticants and really stop breeding humans also. No more cows,
That's right.
no more horses, no more dogs, no more
That's right.
cats. And that's really sad for us personally because we really like all those animals.
That's
and
true.
also no more humans. We really need to take a hiatus
That's
from
right.
breeding. Maybe for all of those species, just take a 10-year hiatus from breeding. 10-year hiatus from breathing might solve the problem.
Boy, wouldn't it?
Right? But 10-year hiatus from breeding, and then maybe another 10-year hiatus after that.
Yeah.
How do we even do that? In so many parts of the world, everybody is just completely poor and doesn't have any access to resources.
That's right.
somewhat more than 2 billion people don't even have access to a toilet. Just think about that. What now to stop the destruction in a fair and just way? It's very quiet.
It's very quiet.
I don't even see anybody anymore. I have that windows open
And the curtains blowing in the wind
Mhm.
feeling upstairs. I also have that feeling. I don't see anybody upstairs.
Are there any other questions left?
No, that was it.
Who wanted us to film? Who was so sure that we were supposed to film? I see. It looks like a control room.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's like in theaters. The booth way up
Yeah.
high. It's like the booth. You guys wanted us to film. Did we do it? Like thumbs up? Like what else do you want? Anything else?
Is there another point?
I see thumbs up.
I think it's it. I think that's it.
I think that's
I think
it.
we did whatever the thing was.
Well, we put the questions on the table.
That's true.
And that's our job, and it's important for us to remember that all we can do is do our part, and we can't get anybody else to do their part, and that's the nature of free will, and that's how it works.
That's right.
And now we just get to see what other people choose. And by people we mean presences in all dimensions. And again, they're showing the big hand reaching down, grabbing the little hand and pulling the little hand up and out. And maybe this ties into the question of what is a soul. And they're talking about Charlie and that one life that everybody talks about.
Yeah, that's right.
And when he was dying, his last words were, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" And we think it's pretty clear that the body felt the soul leaving, and
yeah.
yet still had the consciousness to be aware that the soul had left. And felt abandoned by God. How is that right? How does the spirit world define what a soul is?